YouTube? This is VidHead85, and thank you so much for joining me for this episode of Am I the Asshole? Now, this one is about a story that starts out with a PS5. This one, so I have called it the PS5 story that grew legs and ran. In the journalistic community, when a story grows legs, that means it's pretty much Mark Twain. I'll say what Mark Twain says. A lie can travel the world before the truth has a chance to tie its shoes. So pretty much this one, it just keeps on giving. So the original post was, am I the asshole for selling my PS5 rather than sharing it with my stepbrothers? I ran into a post about this kid named Jonah, who's 15, lived with his bio dad and stepmom after his mother died. Jonah got a good job and had lots of disposable income and was able to deck out his room with the PS5. Originally, he allowed his stepbrothers to play, getting them games they liked and a third controller. The boys are about 5 and 7, and when the younger one spilled juice on a controller, Jonah said, "You know what? You'll only have access while I'm here." After they whined to the parents, they then told OP to put the PlayStation in the living room, but he refused. So Dad, I'm either going to refer to him as Dad or Doof, he basically said, pay rent. And then Jonah said, well, as long as it complies with the Family Law Act, okay. Dad reiterated that he needs to put the PS5 that OP bought with his own money to gift it to the boys or he'd toss it. So OP decided, nah, I'm selling this. So he was rated not the asshole in all of this. After 2 updates, we find that Jonah is pretty independent and has a good head on his shoulders. Update 2 shows us that his extended family saw the Reddit post and tore into Dad. So Dad decided to post. He heard that it was a bloodbath, so let's start the tab. December 19, 2021, Father decides to give his side of the story, giving us some background into this. It was a short relationship. May, Jonah's mom, got pregnant, and this is how Dad talked about it in his own words. A few days ago, my bio son Jonah, not his real name, posted a biased and frankly defamatory post about an incident in my home regarding a PS5. His job gives him essentially 100% disposable income purely because he lives in our household. He used this money to deck out his room, buy brand new shoes, buy the latest iPhones, etc., all for himself. I couldn't care less about how he spent his money, but it does set a poor example for my other 2 boys. The last straw was when Jonah set a login password for the PS5. I basically told him if he's not willing to share, then why would I give him a free ride? So the note is, how is decking out his room and having it be a great place setting a bad example for the boys? He is teaching them he's got a lot of disposable income, so he's saying, hey, take care of yourself. He continues, my son should be grateful. While we share DNA, I only dated his mom, May, not her actual name, for all of 5 months back in uni. I was very clear with May that I didn't want kids, but apparently consent doesn't go both ways. Now let me pause here and say you do not consent to pregnancy. Okay. May put me through legal hell and ended up costing me tens of thousands of dollars over the years in child support, setting my own goals back. While the boys previously did have access to PS5, he now won't let them play it now that school is finished for the year unless he's home, which he never is. I gave him the ultimatum of either sharing the console or no one gets to play it. In response, he pulls the most passive-aggressive move ever and sold it. Now, no one plays it. Well, you gave him the ultimatum, and you were pissed when he took one of the other option. I wanted to give you this because of the fact that I needed to show you how the dad thinks of Jonah as a stranger that should be grateful. Needless to say, this post was like Carrie's prom in word form. Doof was taken to the cleaners and it was glorious. So I will link the best of Reddit updates so that you can get them all in one place and possible links to the original. Jonah is returning the energy that Biodad gave him because Biodad was chewing out Jonah for not finishing chores by a certain time. Jonah gave Dad lip and Dad grounded him so he won't be able to go paintballing for his birthday. He also kicks Jonah off the Wi-Fi when he realizes the punishment isn't working. Then, when Jonah orders food, he decides to intercept it and eat it. So this, in essence, is a pissing match between Doof and Jonah. Stepmom comes in and undoes the grounding because she's a rock star and she's realizing how much of an idiot her husband is. Now she'll come into the picture again, and a brief note that she decided to give her sons a Switch for Christmas. This is where we have a positive turn in the relationship for them. Chapter 4 is an update. It comes in the form of a comment that Jonah is with his uncles and cousins and is living his best life. Bonus. In the bonus is Uncle called his brother a cunt because, well, you already see why. Chapter 5 takes place in February of 2022 when Doof tries to trick his wife into being arm candy and is rated the asshole because he's trying to use her to get in good with the other CEOs. Stepmom is not all about having vapid conversations with the CEO wives. Now this one, chapter 6, is where we have Stepmom. Stepmom comes in and gives us some juiciness. So this is where we hear about her, the how Doof described Jonah. So this is from her post. This is from February 8th, 2022. You all know about him hiding Jonah's existence from me. What you may not know is that he lied about Jonah's mom and made her out to be a gold digger who tricked him into having a kid. This is why my initial reception of Jonah was definitely not warm, and I'm ashamed of it. He's really a decent and sweet boy and is so kind and patient with my 2 boys. He deserves better than his dad. After our wedding, the manipulation started. He wanted to convince me not to continue my studies. You don't need to, babe. I'll look after you. You just look pretty and look after my house. She was taken in by his looks, wealth, and confidence. He monitored his wife's credit usage and criticized purchases like a coffee and muffin, but not Botox hair and makeup. So this gives us a window into their marriage, which next he tells us it's over and tries to get some pity, which he does not deserve. So chapter 7, now that he's caught and exposed, even some Redditors calling him out as the PS5 dad he is getting the equivalent of the angry mob with pitchfork every post he makes. Chapter 8, this is where he puts his new girlfriend of 5 months as a school pickup. This happened this was posted July 1st, 2022, and the final chapter decides, he gets details of a cruise his ex-wife was on via his oldest son. He tried to play big happy family with ex-wife and was separated from her by the staff. By this point, the manipulation is just so transparent at this point that I'm just done with it. So this is the TLDR piece. I booked a holiday similar to my wife's, separated, so I could hang out with the boys. She did not take it well. So this is the short version of all the best of Reddit updates about PS5 Dad. This was a doozy as I was reading it out loud again, like as I said before, when I was reading it out loud to do this post. Originally, I wanted to do all of the updates, but it just kept on. So I said, screw that. I'm not going to do that to my audience. So anyway, thank you so much for joining me for this. I hope you have yourself a wonderful day and see you soon.